Hi everyone, going to do another reading from this deck. There we go. You pull the strings that control your own life. So I feel that this is a message to you that actually you are in control. You have the ability to change things. There's no need to sit back and wait for the universe, a life, someone else to make decisions for you. And I feel for this card in particular, this is about relationships, marriage, and karmic connections. So I feel, again, I'm just going to repeat it. You pull the strings that control your own life. So I feel that many of you are in a situation where you are feeling sort of penned in, tied down, really trapped, and you feel like you're in this emotional, mental, and almost physical prison. You are feeling unhappy, miserable, and you're feeling that it's not your doing. You feel that it's this person in your life, this partner, husband, wife, whoever it may be, may not be married. You are blaming them. You are feeling that it is something they have done that is holding you back, that is stopping you from having your happiness. And in truth, that is absolutely not the case. And I don't mean to be mean there, but it's true. You pull the strings that control your own life. Most of it comes down to perspective. I feel that you may feel angry at this person. You may have a sense of disappointment and frustration. It could be that they are sort of doing their own thing and it feels like they no longer care. They are no longer supporting you or giving their time or perhaps even conversation to you. Now, you have to stop and ask yourself why that may be. Is there something I have done to make this person feel this way towards me? You know, have you done something at some point that has pushed that person away? Or is that person simply needing to devote their time, focus, and attention on their own life because that's what matters and what is important for their own survival right now? So don't be thinking it's all their fault. A lot of it is to do with perspective. And if you're in that energy of blaming that person and it's all their fault, it's because they do this, that, or they don't listen to me, or they're not here to support me here and then you are not taking any responsibility for your own life. So you are not then pulling the strings of your own life. You're allowing whatever they're playing out in their world to affect your own inner world and perhaps physical. So just knowing that actually if you change your way of thinking and you stop and think, well, actually, maybe he's just doing this because he's feeling this particular way and it's nothing on me, then you won't feel that same pain. You won't feel that same vulnerability or perhaps manipulation, whatever it may be you're feeling. It will change how it sits with you. And then you're able to act on that, change that, understand it on a greater level, and take back the reins. So I feel that many of you surrender to it. You're surrendering to a situation because you feel that there is no escape, there is no other way. But there is another way. The other way is to accept that it's not working for you in that moment. Something there is not settling nicely with yourself. It doesn't sit right. And you take ownership of that. So instead of just, handing that over and putting all that blame on that other person, it's their fault that I feel this way and they're making me do this or say this or make me angry, whatever it may be. Instead of that, you then are addressing the fact that actually, it's mine. I am affected by that, by what they've said, but I don't have to stay with that. I don't have to then keep giving that back out on repeat into that marriage, relationship, connection, whatever it is. I could acknowledge that this is something I am feeling and this has affected me. However, this is not how I want to feel. So I'm going to change the channel. I'm going to change the story. I'm going to change the perspective. That is shifting the blame off them, not entirely, I'm not saying they are faultless. There may be things that's going on in their world that really are happening and it is affecting you greatly, but a lot of it is down to perspective. It's quite often that as humans we are we have these triggers, these wounds, these underlying issues that are this operating system that run in the background all the time. And then at times people do things that just trigger that. It just gives it a little snag, and you're like, oh, I don't like that. I didn't like the way you spoke to me, or I don't like how that's made me feel, or I feel like you don't care, and I feel, hurt and abandoned. Whatever it may be, it's our own stuff. They are just the ones that are sort of edging that up to the surface, and it's coming to the surface for a reason, so that you can process it, you can readdress it, you can heal from it and learn to understand yourself, and then hopefully heal it to a point where you're not as triggered, and ideally eventually it doesn't trigger you, because you are in control of your own emotions, your own perspective. You are pulling the strings, as it says. You are pulling the strings that control your own life. Sorry, I completely forgot what the card said then. So yeah, you become the puppeteer. Instead of just allowing somebody else to take you on stage and manipulate you, or use you, do whatever they please with you, you are saying, no, I know I am in control of this. I know I can change this. I don't want to stay and sit in this energy. I do deserve better. I know that I can have a better situation. I don't mean a better person, a better situation. And by that I mean understanding, compassion, communication, respect, honesty. All of those things have a tendency to just slide out the window as soon as we feel hurt, as soon as we feel wounded. We get defensive, we get guarded, and we see it as a physical attack. And we then don't want to sort of communicate. It's difficult to bridge into those conversations with somebody if you're feeling wounded and hurt and neglected. And that's when resentment builds up, because then the more you feel hurt, the more guarded you are, and then the less connected you are. And then you start to dislike that person for how they're showing up. Well, likewise, they are feeling the same about you. They no longer like the fact that you have become guarded, territorial, defensive, closed off. And so that both of you end up doing this awful dance where you're both basically running in opposite directions, with real serious amounts of tension and anger and frustration. And that just breeds for resentment, and the resentment drives the two of you apart. So it's a case of coming back in, being your own puppeteer, being in control of your stage show, your performance, this live, and saying, what can I do differently? How can I take responsibility for this situation right now? How can I change how I'm feeling or how I'm showing up? Instead of focusing on what they're doing wrong, focus on what you're thinking about that. What is it that they're doing wrong? Why is that wrong to you? What expectation have you got set there in the background? What operating system is running that is getting triggered by their behavior and what they're doing? Shift the attention back into yourself and consider how you can change the situation. Okay, I hope that made some sense, and as always, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Bye.